Last month, your paycheck hit. You probably checked your account, saw the balance, and something inside said, okay, this time I'm getting organized. Maybe you downloaded a budgeting app. Maybe you started writing down your expenses. And a few days later, everything was back to normal. Look, that doesn't mean you're undisciplined or irresponsible. Here's the truth. Budgeting isn't a math problem, like most people think. The real issue is psychology, and your brain has declared war on your budget. Today, we're going to talk about exactly what we're doing wrong and how to fix it. Think about this. According to NFCC data, only 32% of Americans have a written budget. That means 2/3 of people go through every month wondering where their money went. Looking at Turkey specifically, Turkstat data shows 58% of households struggle to make it to the end of the month. And here's the surprising part. Most of these people aren't low income. They're middle income earners with steady salaries living what looks like a good life. So what's happening? Why is this so hard? Because budgeting goes against the way our brains naturally work. Trap number 1, temporal discounting, the devaluing the future trap. Research shows that when we think about our future selves, our brains react almost as if thinking about a stranger. A study by David Leifson from Princeton showed that people prefer $100 today over $120 in 3 months. In other words, we won't wait 90 days for a 20% return. We want it now. This explains exactly why when your paycheck arrives, you want to pay that monthly phone bill, subscription, and cinema ticket right now. Leaving things to the future feels like a burden to the brain. Concrete example, you earn $3,500 a month. At the start of the month, you say, let's save 20%. That's $700. But in the evening, friends are going out, you say, just this once, $300 is gone. Weekend comes along, treat yourself, another $200. At month's end, where's your $700? Your brain saw the future as discounted and spent it on the present. Trap number 2, mental accounting. According to Nobel Prize-winning research by Richard Thaler, people don't keep money in one rational pool. They hold it in separate mental boxes. Now you might be thinking, I don't do that. Money is money. No, you do. We all do. Example, you won $200 at a poker table. How do you spend it? Research shows most people spend that money more freely because the brain filed it under the extra box. The same happens with bonuses. Why do you spend more when you get a bonus? Because the brain labels it bonus money, not normal money. So how does this destroy your budget? Like this, you have a food budget category of $500, but when you meet a friend for just coffee, you file that under social. At month's end, both your food budget and social budget are blown because the same money was spent twice in your head. Trap number 3, optimism bias. Here's what most people don't realize. When we make spending plans, we make extremely optimistic predictions about our future selves. Research shows around 80% of people consider themselves above average drivers. The same applies to finance. People underestimate how much they'll spend in a month by an average of 20%. Concrete number, you actually spend $4,000, but when planning, you write down $3,200. That's an $800 gap every month. Over 12 months, that's $9,600. That's why budgets look great on paper, but collapse in practice. The solution isn't trying to be realistic, it's using your data. Pull at least 3 months of bank statements and find your average. Budget with your real numbers, not your estimates. Trap number 4, perhaps the least talked about but most destructive, ego depletion. You've probably heard of Roy Baumeister's famous radish experiment. People are given a task, then offered cookies. Those who resist the cookies give up faster on the next task. Similarly, we make hundreds of decisions every day. What should I eat? Do I need this? Should I buy that? And every decision tires the muscle that makes those decisions a little bit more. Why do you grab that $15 chocolate bar at 10 p.m. in the grocery store? Because the you from the morning and the you from the evening are not the same person. Evening you is tired, decision-making capacity depleted. Major budget collapses usually happen in the evening, not on the morning, on Sunday, not Saturday. The solution: automate decisions in advance. On payday, automatic transfer, unconditional, no exceptions. Weekly meal plan, Monday morning when your brain is still fresh. Shopping list, write it before you go to the store, before you're hungry. Trap number 5, loss aversion. The groundbreaking work of Kahneman and Tversky showed that the pain of a loss is roughly twice as powerful as the joy of an equivalent gain. Losing $100 feels about twice as bad as gaining $100 feels good. So how does this affect your budget? Like this: you frame your budget as what you cannot spend, not what you can. I can't spend more than $200 on entertainment this month. That feels like a loss. And the more the brain thinks about what it wants to avoid, the more it's drawn towards that very thing. Like someone on a diet who thinks about chocolate more and more the moment they say, "I won't eat chocolate." The solution: frame your budget as permission, not prohibition. I have $200 for entertainment this month. That's a gain. It's a neurologically different signal, not restriction, freedom. There's one more thing most people don't realize. As income rises, stress rises too. We call this hedonic adaptation. We quickly get used to every new level of pleasure. You got a raise, great, but 6 months later you're asking yourself, how am I managing? Let's do the math. When you earned $5,000 a month, you spent $4,000. The raise came, now you make $6,500. Now you spend $5,750. Your salary went up 30%, but your savings rate is the same, sometimes even lower. Research shows that between 60 and 80% of salary increases return as spending within 6 months. So what's the solution? When you get a raise, automatically increase your savings rate. At least 50% of your raise, before the money appears, goes to an automatic account. You can't spend money you never see. All right, we've talked about the psychological traps. Now let's build a system that actually works. Step 1, find your real data. Open your bank statement, take the average of the last 3 months, not estimates, real numbers. This is your true budget. Step 2, apply the 50-30-20 rule, but intelligently. 50% of your income for needs, rent, bills, groceries. 30% for wants, dining, entertainment, shopping. 20% for the future, savings and debt repayment. But don't just keep this in your head. Separate accounts or an envelope system for each category. Step 3, automate. On payday, the first transfer goes to savings. No willpower required from you. Let the system make decisions for you. Just spend the rest. And on the last Sunday of every month, 20 minutes, a budget review. Where did I slip? Why did I slip? How do I prevent it next month? Let me ask you something. What percentage of people watching this video are thinking about, I already knew all this? Probably most of them. And that's exactly the problem. Knowing isn't enough. You need a system. Your brain gets tired every night, fights every day, and you keep trying to beat it each month with willpower alone. You can't win this battle with willpower, but you can win it with a system. Right now, after this video, do one thing. Open your banking app, see how much you've spent in the last 3 months. Just look, no judgment. That is the first step to change. Because you can't change what you can't see. If you found this video useful, send it to a friend. They might be caught in the same traps. In my next video, I'll show you exactly how to set up an automatic savings system. See you there.